On March the 2nd, 2005, in the Garthamlock area of Glasgow, Scotland, 2-year-old Andrew Morton was in the arms of his older brother on his shoulders, heading to the shops. Unbeknownst to them, Mark Bonini, a 27-year-old with a history of drug addiction, was recklessly firing a modified air rifle at people from his flat. Tragically, one of the pellets struck young Andrew in the head, embedding itself in his brain. Despite medical efforts, Andrew succumbed to his injuries 2 days later. His death shocked the community. A toddler had been killed with an air rifle, a weapon often dismissed as harmless. People began asking questions. How could this happen? And what needed to change? Bonini was arrested and charged with murder, making the first time in Britain that someone was convicted of murder using an air gun. During the trial, it was revealed that Bonini had been indiscriminately shooting from his window, targeting not only Andrew, but also a window shopper, a taxi driver, a fire engine, a street lamp, and windows in the vicinity. While giving evidence, Bonini's cousin, Kevin Bonini, 19, said the 27-year-old had been aiming to shoot Andrew's brother Brian. "I'm gonna shoot wee Brian." After a shot fired, the teenage Brian grabbed Andrew and screamed. "This is when I knew Andrew had been hit. I told him, 'You shot the Wayne,' and he said, 'No, I never,' but I knew he did," testified Bonini in court. Under the influence of drugs at the time, Bonini's actions were described by the presiding judge as wicked, depraved and deliberate. In August 2005, he was sentenced to life imprisonment with a minimum term of 13 years before eligible for parole. The Morton family was devastated by the loss of their young son. Sharon McMillan, Andrew's mother, expressed deep anguish, stating that while Bonini would miss seeing his own child grow up, she would never have the chance to see Andrew's first day at school. The family felt that the 13-year minimum sentence was insufficient, with Sharon describing it as a joke and expressing concerns that Bonini would be just laughing at us. Chapter 3: Public Outrage and Calls for Change. Andrew's murder ignited a major debate on air gun laws in Scotland. Many were shocked at how dangerous these weapons could be, demanding stricter regulations. His parents became vocal advocates pushing for laws to prevent similar tragedies. Their efforts sparked discussions on banning or heavily restricting air rifles. Politicians and activists joined the call for reform. Minister Margaret Curran urged considerations of licensing or bans, while Dr Mick North, who lost his daughter in the Dunblane massacre, warned air guns were treated too lightly despite their lethal potential. Media coverage intensified public concern, revealing how high-powered air rifles could be bought legally as for little as £80 with a licence. This fueled demands for urgent legislative action. Andrew's death became a turning point, forcing Scotland to re-evaluate air gun laws and strengthen regulations to prevent future tragedies. Chapter 4: The Passing of Andrew's Law. In the decade following Andrew Morton's tragic death, his family tirelessly campaigned for stricter air gun regulations to prevent similar incidents. Their relentless efforts culminated in the enactment of the Air Weapons and Licensing Scotland Act 2015, commonly referred to as Andrew's Law. This legislation introduced mandatory licensing for airgun owners in Scotland, aiming to control and monitor the possession of use of such weapons more effectively. The passing of this law marked a significant victory for Andrew's parents, particularly his mother Sharon McMillan, who had vowed to honour her son's memory through a meaningful change. Reflecting on the achievement, Sharon expressed her profound relief and sense of accomplishment, stating, "We are totally delighted that, finally, it's got to some stage. I promised Andrew we wouldn't give up, and we didn't." Nearly 2 decades after Andrew's death, the story still serves as a poignant reminder of the devastating consequences of reckless actions involving firearms. In 2022, 17 years after Bonini's conviction, Andrew's parents were once again forced to face their trauma. Bonini was approaching his parole eligibility, and the thought of his release filled them with the fear. They worried he could return to their area and live freely, while they continued to serve a life sentence of grief. The idea that he could be walking the streets again was unbearable. In January 2025, Bonini, now 47, applied for parole. The possibility of his release sent shockwaves throughout the community. This is 5 years after being caught with drugs in his cell after a move to an open prison. His parole was also then rejected and he was sent back to a more secure prison. Do you think Mark Bonini should ever be released? Let us know in the comments.